Worry.
You're live.
What's up, folks? Yeah, we are.
Mhm.
What's up, folks? Yes, we are. What's up, folks? It's time for another episode of Trustless Degens. This is the show where we talk about all things blockchain 3 here in terms of it being related. Have my host here. So let's bring in the host. We got our resident normie up top. Rex Satoshi. He's wrecked today. And we always have to pay attention to that now. I'm not sure if you intended for that to be life, but that is now life. It's like somebody that like has like a trademark where they like draw a smiley face or a frown on their cheek, and people are just like, "Wow, how are you?" I don't know. And then we have Bit Theme. Yeah.
Welcome. What up? What up?
Infinite loves the analogy. I see it.
Okay. Absolutely.
How's everybody doing this week? What's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Like, we don't,
it's
pretty wide range of emotions, as I say.
Yeah, just emotional.
Not bad,
emotional.
Not bad.
You're all what America would consider adults. So we're gonna ask the adults in the room from different parts of the country. You know, how are you feeling? You know,
milk toast. Yeah, right in the middle.
Milk
allergies.
Toast.
Yeah. My like allergies are going crazy. You know, I'm like drowsy.
That time of year.
Yeah. It's going to like hot and cold a lot. You know, it's just no, thank you. But that's where I'm at.
All right. We gotta start off with the question that we typically do to start these shows off, which is going around the room and checking the temperature. Before we check the temperature, though, I do want to preface things and just let people know what we're going to be talking about today. If you don't see it in the title, these are our main topics. We'll also be going around to some of our favorite applications and checking out the market itself and just some trends and whatnot, some fun threads and things like that. Some alpha we found in Twitter and Web3, but we typically go around and see how folks are doing. Before we do that, the Gensler tapes is on the list. Arkham, what the heck did that mean? And we're going to explain all these things. Brics, it's on our radar, and the Infinite loves it for his war dialogue. The Yuan and DeFi. Yeah, but that's not to say that we won't also cover some other topics. So given all these things that are now on your mind, group folks, we like to make sure he's not too influenced. So we start him off first. Resident Army Infinite, how are you feeling?
Dude, I am like consistent. What do you mean? Influence my ass. I'm always like, look, you can make money anywhere. But I'm still fucking perma-bear, bro. No, you know? Yeah, there you go. Influence
perma-bear. Perma-bear. So the markets just got you feeling perma-bearish this last week.
Yeah. I mean, I laid it out before, but you know, it's the first time we're talking about it, so you know, you keep it simple, and then we keep it moving.
We're gonna keep bringing that towel to get more out of you as the show goes on. Bit Fiend, how you feeling?
Well, when I'm in Decentraland, I normally put on a wearable that's called a Mars or Bust Balloon Buddy, which is a rocket that floats over my head because I'm bullish.
Past the fucking moon, all right? We're going to Mars.
That's like I could imagine Bitfiend saying that in the metaverse, and he just walks off stage afterwards. They're like, is that it?
I mean, yeah.
Where's he going?
If you look at my stream, Bitcoin Fiend on Twitch, you'll see it. You'll see my rocket. And then you'll see you guys too, but yeah.
And then there's you guys, but you know me, straight rocket, baby.
That's the rocket. I'm bullish. I know that the market's down a little bit.
The Bitcoin Fiend.
Yeah. So there was this guy that was running around Decentraland a few days ago, and he was like, you know, set your shorts now. It's crashing. You know, he's going crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm just like, zoom out on your chart. I don't know. You're seeing something wrong. You know, if anything, we're going sideways for a while. We might drop a little bit, but nothing's crashing. So then he comes back
Yeah.
when Bitcoin hits 27 grand. He's like, "Hey, Bitfiend, oh, what happened? You were wrong." And I'm like, "Dude, Bitcoin is at 27 grand from 30. Wow. What was the price of it 5 years ago? And what was the price of Bitcoin 3 months ago?"
3 months ago, 6 months ago. It's we're
So
ways up.
it's up. Sorry that you bought at 60. When someone tells me that, it's like, my bad. I'm sorry that you bought at 60. I bought a little bit at like 50, but we all make mistakes. We all knew it was going to go down. It's not going to stay that, like, this is a cycle.
And you DCA more probably than this person.
Yeah, and
I would
then
imagine.
at the same time, how many days until the next Bitcoin halving is what I consider.
Yeah, we're right around that. We're right around a year. Right around the year mark.
I know it was 365.
Depends on whoever's chart.
Yeah, it's 365 days was the mark like 3 weeks ago, but then a few days ago I saw 360. So, like you said,
Yeah, because it depends on like the mining and like how that works
and how the difficulty changes. But we're roughly 360 days, a little under a year to the next Bitcoin halving. What's going to happen? And I always mention the S2F model because it's kind of been right so far.
Stock to flow. All right. Satoshi, Mr. Satoshi.
I've been feeling kind of just like in awe and like confused a little bit about what's going on with a lot of the macro, like the whole First Republic Bank the last couple days. But that's shown to be bullish for the market, I guess, but like bad for us. So it's just like, how are you supposed to take that? So that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just like still like, okay, that's seems good for Bitcoin, but not great for me exactly. But okay, we'll see how it goes.
Gotcha. I see the infinite up there. He's like, I might have another one coming to my side soon.
Nah,
he's lurking. You gotta watch out for him. Watch out for him.
He's only wrecked for a little while.
Only for a little while. Okay, cool. In my opinion, most recently, I felt like it's doing a lot of what I thought it was going to do. Right, a few weeks ago, we ended the show with what my opinion might be on the market. I'm like, okay, weird. It's around 25, 26. I'm like, okay, I don't think we're done. I think we can go up to like 30, maybe do a blow off top somewhere in the 30-something thousand range. If it gets really crazy up to 40, but like somewhere in the 30,000, we do a blow off top. I think whatever it peaked at, the 30, 31 or whatever was probably the blow off top. And for Ethereum, good God, $2,200 like per Ethereum. That's like sexy. We went back down, which was honestly like significant, and like I think it's like like was it like 15, 20% or something like that drop, honestly.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, a big drop we've seen before, like 25, 30%, you can expect this time. So what if it just doesn't do 30%? What about if it only does 20%? What about like how much farther are we really off from these averages that people are talking about? That might have been the correction. That might have been the current correction before we get like more of a blow off top, a little bit more steam. But interested to see where it goes. I'm still bullish until otherwise. I find it hard to see like a lot of things stacking up in the macro. It has to be like in the macro environment that are going to push down the price to $1,900 Bitcoin, sub $1,700 Ethereum, $1,600 Ethereum. My last thing I'll say is it was interesting to see today the Arkham situation, and we can also leave that into the next topic. It was interesting to see, which I wasn't even like really aware of what this was, but it's like I guess some type of alert system that lets you know when certain wallets are moving, and somebody else can speak to it better. But
I've used Arkham a few times.
A report, but there was a report, and apparently the market reacted pretty negatively, like immediately. Like things crash. If you were paying attention to crypto today, the market's going up, and it's going up because of numbers. People are like, oh, it's performing well. There's demand, etc. It's going up for the right reasons. And then huge sell-off. And the sell-off was apparently due to an alert that something might happen. So I think that was really interesting to see whether or not it was real. Like, what about if it was real? Like, just the fact that the market reacted that strongly to the alert in a negative way in that sense. Something else to consider with that is like how far down the market moved because of that. So like how far with the market, because if that's just on like purely speculation, a speculation move. But how much farther could the market move on purely human emotion versus something else? And there's nothing in the tokenomics that's pushing the prices down right now. It's going to be human emotion that pushes the prices down, or some outside macro factors. And so I think that's like an important thing to try to dial in on. Like, okay, how much do the people feeling a certain type of way about their macro environment and whatever else emotionally make how much can it impact the market in a short amount of time? And if you can figure that out, then you can just consistently swing this market, which is made some money here on the stream, yo. We made some money. We made some money. So it worked out. Continuing to try and do these things. The writing's on the wall for some of this stuff.
Yeah,
but Satoshi, I feel like you mentioned you know a little something about Arkham. You've used Arkham a few times. Tell us, spotlight. What is Arkham?
I used Arkham a couple times. You use it to track wallets, and I use it to track these scammers that we had been we had been looking at all these crypto projects, and we had
thing you was talking about.
We had this guy on one of our channels who was like telling us to buy all these projects that he was an admin in. And then we were like, well, all these projects are like kind of soft rugging, and they're kind of like not producing anything. So we started looking into them, and Arkham is maybe like 4 to 6 months old, and it's in beta, and you have to have like you have to have an invite code to get invited. And you just you put in wallet addresses, and it just shows you like where they've sent tokens, where tokens have been sent to them. And then so we just we tracked them to Binance, and then we tracked all these other wallets that were sending money to that same Binance wallet. And so it was just wild. And it's just like a whole web of scams. But what happened in this case was Arkham sent out some early warning alert that some Bitcoin wallet had like sold a bunch of Bitcoin, and it was supposed to be linked to the American government, I think. And so
I read about that.
I was shocked that
I was like, what?
I was shocked that there was a reaction like that about it after we went up so much. And I'm just like, I feel like I've been way too close to way too many scams lately. So I'm just like, what is going on here? But I like Arkham for what I use it for. I never use it for any alerts or anything like that. But they came out and said that it was a bug. The market is starting to recover, which is nice. So I don't know. I don't know. Pretty scary stuff here. Pretty scary stuff. But we didn't we've been making a structure with a chart. So I mean, I feel like we've been we've been making higher lows.
It's been pretty healthy up. It's been a pretty healthy up.
Making higher, especially that last crash we had over the last week, where we didn't even go down to 25K. So I was like, it seems pretty healthy. I was feeling like it was getting ready to be alt season, and I was like, I want to say it's alt season, and everyone around me is telling me it's alt season, but I'm like, I don't know yet. And I'm glad I didn't officially say it, because Bitcoin's like, nah, it ain't really alt season yet. Like, y'all gotta do what I do first.
Yeah, we had a little mini alt season there for quite a while though.
But that wasn't alt season, if you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little spring misting. I know. We weren't in bull season, alt season,
airdrop hype.
It just continues.
Airdrop hype season. That's what we had. Like, we had a bunch of airdrop hunters. And so that's what we still have. I think everyone's hunting airdrops, and there are some good alts out there. If you're looking at perpetuals or dexes, but I mean like that alt season. Like, I mean, L2s, IDOs.
It is old season.
All type. No, it don't look. Look at that dominance chart. Look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's telling you that it's not.
What was that? Oh man,
Not for me anyway.
Not for you anyways. I'm like, all right. So that's our coverage of little insight into what Arkham is, what happened today with Arkham, how the markets got spooked. At least that's what people are speculating. That was a real spook of the crypto market today. And again, if you were looking at the charts, I'm gonna pull up the charts now. So
yeah, that fucking red candle is crazy.
You can see this thing. It's pretty funny looking.
It erased like a couple, like almost a day's worth of up. I took
it went down so far. I was just like waiting for it.
I went to sleep. I went to sleep rich and I woke up broke. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, that's fun.
Who did this? Who did this? I was like, Arkham did this? How could they do this? Like, what? You don't even spend money with them. You just use it. Like, how could they tank the market like this so bad? You never know what'll do it. But I feel like, the market needed.
We gotta struggle.
A good flush out.
Here.
Oh, that's blurry. There we go.
Something. Yeah, this is like slowing some things up. Let's see if this comes out around. There we go. So we got the Bitcoin chart up here. And we just want to check out what we've been talking about here today. I think it's better to see it in candlesticks. This is the 24-hour chart. You zoom out here a little bit. And so basically, yeah, within the last...
For what?
For Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. Actually, yeah,
okay.
Let's go out a little bit more. So this is what we were seeing today. We went up, and it was like, yo, the market is correcting. And then all of a sudden, there was a massive downtrend all the way back down here. So we went like all the way back down here, and it's like, yo, what that? Like, why do we go down that much? And so that was like the Arkham situation that we were explaining.
Whales sold. Oh yeah, okay, that was the Arkham situation. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the tweet that I sent to the group too, where I was like, so buy.
What did it drop to?
It was like low 27s.
Low 27s. Ethereum hit 1,708, like 90. So that dropped down to the 1,700 range. And
I'm sorry, not 1,700. Oh no, yeah, sorry, Ethereum. I was like, hang on, Bitcoin didn't drop that far, but no, yeah, Bitcoin dropped to like 27,000. Sorry, like 27.3, somewhere around there. Yeah,
I went shopping. I immediately was like, okay, are there any tokens in the 24-hour that are down a lot that I might want right now? This and that. I almost bought some Matic, but then I got distracted by this whole Ethereum trade. I wonder how Matic ended up doing. They were like at 99 cents or something like that. So not too much of a decline in Matic. I figured Ethereum was going to be moving. So it looked like, and that was my analysis. I was like, looked at this. In the 24-hour, there wasn't like a lot of tokens that I really liked that moved a whole bunch. Like, that's not really attractive to get like, I mean, you can get more than 2% on like this type of environment, something, on something that's going to be moving, especially when you look at tokens that were up, they're up like a crazy amount. So obviously there's more to be made by just following the trend of a token that's up. Bitcoin and Ethereum had dropped like 5 or 6%, 24 hours. They're going to make some of that back up. You're going to make that at least in those, then like, it's like almost a guarantee.
I need to look at these charts more, but from the chart that I'm seeing on the 4-hour for Bitcoin on Trading View, the dump that we had today off that like fake news was not as much as the drop we had like at the beginning of the week, or like at the end of last week, I guess I should say, where we dropped down to like 27.
Look at that, hit that Fibonacci.
So that's pretty bullish to me. I think like if we're making higher lows, especially with everything that's going on now, I think that's got to be bullish.
Look at it hit these Fibonacci levels. Crazy. But yeah, just another chart.
I can barely see the Fibonacci's with all the spaghetti, man.
I mean, yeah, I got a lot of spaghetti on it. There's an Ichimoku cloud on top of that, as well as Bollinger Bands.
You got all that.
I mean, you got Mount Everest there too. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Got the Ichimoku cloud and the Bollinger Bands.
And
down here, got the MACD down here. I like the MACD. It's just like a
you got the infinity symbol.
Like, it's definitely going that direction. And then these might even be these are Heikin-Ashi candles as well. There's so many things I like to be like, yo, is it really going that way? And this is also why I was like, I don't know if I should get out of the trade, because by the time a Heikin-Ashi candle turns green, it's like kind of signifying the trend. It's a bunch of different candles compacted into one. It's an average of candles, and so chances are you're going to get more than one green Heikin-Ashi candle in a row. You're going to be kind of pressed to there's not going to be a whole bunch of situations when it's going in a direction where you don't see it start to do one and it be more of that after. I'm like, but it is coming up against some resistance here. So the more you learn about charts and stuff, and all that is telling me different supply and demand, the levels and volume aspects, whether or not know what that is. That's all you're reading. It's like, okay, there's this much volume happening at this point in time or whatever. What do you think is going to happen with that much volume moving? Boom. Some fun chart stuff. It looks crazy. Want to go back over to the top 10 really quickly. Are there any tokens? I mentioned I was going shopping, asking around the room. Are there any tokens in the top 10, top 50? I don't know. Maybe it's beyond. Maybe you're feeling a little degen. But what tokens are you guys looking at in this dip? We're in a little bit of a dip still, especially for the altcoins. They're going to recover after Bitcoin and Ethereum.
I bought Stargate and I bought Unipilot. I've already had a bag of Stargate, but
Unipilot.
Stargate dipped a little bit more earlier last weekend, and I took some, and it dipped a little bit more on me. So it's all good though. I'm still pretty bullish on Stargate, and then Unipilot is it's one of those. It's something that allows you to automatically move your liquidity parameters for Uniswap.
Okay, one of these auto V3 yield platforms. Gotcha.
I think it's got a $3 million market cap. It's got a 4 million total supply, 4.5 million total supply. It's not on any exchanges yet. It's got a lot of wallets, but
okay. So competitors with Gamma here.
Yes.
So let's look at this real quickly. So they got max supply says 4,600,000, 1/4 of the way there. Fully diluted valuation, 12 million. 24-hour trading volume about 200,000. Let's look at Gamma by comparison again. 4 million, 12 for FDV. 1/4 of the way to their supply. Gamma, a lot more tokens over here, and worth a lot less. So interesting. They're about halfway through theirs, more than 1/4. Where's their SDV? Okay.
Now, like I said, I don't really do much staking. But I I'm interested in how other people like staking a lot. So I got the call from a buddy who seemed like it might do pretty well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Do you have to manage your liquidity a lot when you stake?
I mean, in V3, that's pretty much what you do. You have to. You set it by either a more relaxed type of setting, or you set it to something really tight, a really tight range where you're probably going to make more fees, but you're going to have to come in there and remanage the position. Maybe it goes to all Ethereum or all USDC, or it just is outside of the range. If it doesn't go to one of those two, because those are options that you can do. I wanted to push all to USDC at this point, or I wanted to push all to Ethereum, or it's just outside of my trading range, and the tokens are still as whatever the heck they are. going up or down in value, and I'm just not earning any trading fees.
So when you have to go in there and you have to manage it, does that cost more gas fees? Do you have to change the parameters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, of course. It's the blockchain. Everything costs money.
Yeah, I'm out on that, so I'm bullish on Unipilot.
I mean, it's not an L1 thing. Like I feel like especially working for a DeFi protocol, L1 is oftentimes for like the whales. Like it's for big. Been saying this for it's so funny to watch it happen, and like it really just makes sense more and more. But I'm like, yeah, if you're not moving 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 in your like smart contract deposits on L1, well then the fact that the gas fees are $50 to $100 to $200 and we're not seeing these insane APYs that we did in the bull market, it's not going to be worth it to you because it's going to take you like 2-3 months to make up the cost on your smaller position size for whatever they're doing and stuff like that. You gotta like even if you make profit, you have to worry about the gas fees, and you need to be making enough profit to outdo the gas fees. And so even if a project is like profitable for you, you need to think about gas fees on L1, and because that'll make you unprofitable. So it just makes it really difficult for small bags to operate on L1. It's forcing people out, and it's funny to see. Like I've been saying it for like 2-3 years now. Like it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and like dang, it really has happened. Like whether or not people want to admit it, you can swing trade bags. You can just buy a token and stuff like that on L1. But as far as DeFi on L1 and stuff like that, yeah, small bags are pretty much priced out. It's institutional time for L1 in terms of that. Like those are the only people. Like there's not many of us that are going to be like. And there's some of us that got lucky and stuff like that from it, but not many of us are going to be like, yeah, $20,000 tomorrow. I'm just going to try out this protocol. $50,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for people. So you can still trade though. You can still trade. You can still speculate on tokens and stuff like that. But a lot of these things are being pushed to L2. Yeah. Speaking of that, I was gonna go to token terminal next, but this is maybe a good time to bring up DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama, everybody. Your favorite llama is DeFi Llama. I love those llamas. 49 billion. It says in the space. We're just gonna look at the top protocols overall. See if there's been any big changes. Lido, Maker, Aave Curve, all big dogs that are very boring if you want high yields, but they fulfill a purpose, and so money feels comfortable being there. You just earn like yields that are better than banks, but really safe and slow. It's still going to be like 10x what you get from a bank, and it's like using stables and stuff. Just for people that don't know what that is, Convex, Coinbase. Look at Coinbase sneaking in there. You sneakies. Instadap, Pancake, Compound, Frax. I'm gonna keep pointing this out every time I come across Frax inching its way up in here. It's gonna become a household name, especially got fractional reserve banking, fractional DeFi stable coins. Yeah, it's the future, y'all. All right,
Bruh,
these are like the top protocols in DeFi this month.
What's going on with BitTorrent?
BitTorrent.
So go to
like what they've been doing.
Go to the stables.
Oh, you want to go over here? Okay.
Go to stables. Yeah. Go to chains.
Chains.
Go to the 7-day change and click the top. Go to 7-day change right here. The first row. Click that.
Oh, right here. Okay. Look at them go!
What's going on with BitTorrent? They got some fucking money coming in, don't they?
Maybe they're working on their whole. This is the funny thing, right? Everybody wants to hate on BitTorrent, and like it's not really BitTorrent gets so much hate. It's more so Tron, but it's a social. They're synonymous, honestly. But the funny thing is, pretty sure they're working on like a layer 0 solution. So that's one of the new narratives that's going to be like everybody's all up on GK right now and stuff like that. But one of the other, like the protocols and stuff like it's just like it's an omni-chain functioning. It's easy to bridge to whatever chains. Like BitTorrent can bridge to Binance Smart Chain to all these other chains and stuff like that. So I do think there's time for BitTorrent to have its run in the sun when people realize what they've been building and stuff like that. So it will be interesting for BitTorrent, and it's part of the Tron ecosystem, and Tron is really serious about their DeFi. There was the time period where there was just like a run of the muck on Tron, and you could just all sorts of crazy DeFi protocols and stuff like that. But now the only ones that have survived are ROI dApps that actually utilize the serious Tron at dApps because that's all there's left. There's like borrowing and lending and swapping of assets, and if it doesn't generate yield, it's not surviving on Tron. It needs to actually have utility and generate yield. So I know they are being accused of their money swapping or whatever, but I think that's just like part of their marketing ploy to like get people to be like, this is all we do over here though. You're talking about you don't want scams, and that's literally all that's happening. So there we go. There's my show for BitTorrent. You don't gotta buy it. You don't gotta buy it. You don't gotta buy it. But yields are decent over there. This also has the token itself has the highest yield on Tron. I know that because I'd be staking my BitTorrent and earning on Tron. And you earn stable coins. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I never did anything with my BTT.
You guys are hurting my soul.
I still have it. It's in my Tron wallet. I just never staked it or anything.
You got a camaraderie MMG player always like lightens my heart when he comes to me. He's like, "Yeah, Smurf, you see this one thing on Tron?" I'm like, "Oh, my babies are they're all grown up and finding DeFi protocols and Web3 games and letting me know about them." It's a beautiful thing, guys. It's a beautiful thing when people just come back to you like, "I made this money on this thing. Did you miss it?" I'm like, I did miss it, but I'm so happy you caught it. It's nice to see. All right. Other than this over here, what did I want to check? I want to check chains and DeFi in general. And there's one chain in particular that we got to put check up on. I didn't put it in the title. I probably should have put it in the title. Satoshi. Do you know what that chain is? Well, we know what. No, Satoshi. Bitfiend. Do you know what the chain is?
Which chain? Now, what was the question?
We're about to look up a chain over here and all the DeFi chains. You got to guess. It's a chain heavily writing narratives right now. That was the hint.
Shit. I don't know. Is it
Infinite?
whack?
What's the answer?
Boy, I don't know.
Satoshi.
Arbitrum?
Probably fucking Arbitrum. Or fucking Finance Smart Chain. Or
Hive?
I don't know.
Dang it. It's ZK Sync. It's ZK Sync.
What?
We gotta look
ZK?
at
Really?
we gotta look at Yeah, we gotta look at ZK Sync.
No way.
We have to. Look at this. Still up. Okay, so fun thing with this blockchain.
What the hell?
It's moving up too. It's in the top 21 blockchains now. It was top 25 or something like that last week. So it's up a little bit. It's brand new.
What?
This thing's still like within like the first month or so. So moved up a little bit. So this thing plateaued a little bit around like 100
That's
million
not
or
brand
so.
new.
And it started going down. ZK Sync era is. It is
I've
brand
heard
new.
of it
The
before.
mainnet went live a couple weeks ago, but they had a test net.
Yeah,
It's been testnet for a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
but this just happened.
well, I didn't realize it was
this
still
is
on
this is where we started.
or that it just launched.
It's mainnet now, though. Yeah, you can actually
yeah. Now you can actually use it.
You got to get on there, Bitfiend, so you can get this airdrop, bro. Don't
everybody's finding the airdrop.
What am I supposed to put on there?
Don't fuck around like the infinite.
Anything, any amount. Like, look. Satoshi and I went back and like saw my initial transactions to like Arbitrum. It wasn't a lot of money initially, and so you just got to like put it over there, utilize the money, move the money around and stuff like that. And it was like $100 or so, like 100.
So just throw $100 into ZK Sync
and do some swaps for like USDC or something on Sync Swap.
Yeah, just do stuff with tokens you actually care about. I didn't do anything with tokens that I wasn't interested in. I used GMX, ETH, USDC. Like, I want these things. They're going to probably go up. ZK Sync era. So it's not even showing the name anywhere here, but ZK Sync era is the name of it. We can send that in the chat and stuff. But
scroll up.
Wanted to pay attention to the. I don't know. Oh, is it going to have the name?
Yeah, right there, next to home.
Oh, right here.
Nope, that ain't it.
This is it.
Wag me.
Yeah, I'll put it in this chat.
I'm gonna send it to Discord.
Satoshi's not trying to help you.
I feel like I'm gonna get rugged doing that kind of searching for something like ZK.
I'm gonna send it.
But yeah, interesting to see here, guys. This TVL that was going up, we had a little stall out, went down for a bit, but then potentially back up on a rise and maybe more TVL than ever before. Actually, it is more than ever before already. Yeah. So it's back up on a rise. So interesting to see what would be happening there. They're still very early. Again, and a lot of dApps are just popping up there. They're in the middle of what I would call their like clone wars, their DEX wars. There's gonna be a battle you want to call it that, for what the superior DEX, the superior exchange that people will use. Who's got the best tokenomics? Where's all the money going to aggregate to? And so there's going to be a bunch of these popping up over here, which means there's a lot of opportunity to earn some crypto. The safest way to go about this, and again, it's not financial advice or anything like that, but if I were to go about this in a safe way, / how I do go about this in a safer way, because it could still be something faulty with the smart contracts, but I'm only like farming with like things that I actually use: ETH, USDC, whatever, something like that.
You're only using DeFi Llama, right?
To find it right here. But yeah, I'm only going to be using those tokens that I actually want, and I'll be deploying those to those the different smart contracts of these platforms. Because initially, like the day that the smart platform launches, the APY might be 200-300% or more. It might be in the thousands, and that's realistic until more TVL comes in. So just being early, you can farm out a lot of money, and specifically since now we're getting V3 dexes, you can make a really tight range on some tokens, maybe farm out that many more of this protocol's tokens. It can just get really profitable for you guys. That's all I'm saying. I recently used like some Ethereum and USDC and like pumped like I used like $400 or $500 to make like $45 like overnight. That's like an insane profit. Just because I was like tight range on this thing. I want both of these tokens anyways. We'll see what happens, and it worked out. So yeah, I would come in here on DeFi Llama, check this stuff out. Don't get too crazy. Nexon is probably a good move. I don't think they've launched their token yet, but it's the first lending and borrowing platform on ZK Sync. There's like no other ones, so everything's going to have to run through Nexon right now if they want to do lending and borrowing. I guess this Refactor Fusion maybe is lending and borrowing as well. But this is coming up number 2, and they're ahead of Nexon. They probably already have a token. But those are the type of things you want to find. Enough on that. Good luck out there, sailors. Good luck. Moving down our fun list of updated platforms.
Birdman.
Token terminal here. Token terminal here. And this is a cool website that lets you see the revenue or the earnings, just a bunch of different cool statistics on protocols. So you get to see who the best protocols are in the space in terms of how much they're making. So the same way that you would maybe judge how well a business is doing. People aren't going to support Amazon unless Amazon's making a lot of money. They have a lot of revenue. So yeah, you can see the same thing here for these blockchains. And who's way above everybody else? It's Ethereum. Bitcoin's not on this list because it's different than everybody else. But yeah, Ethereum is like crushing the competition. Then we got Tron. Nobody likes them though. They got a black eye, so they just stay around wherever they do. What I will say though, Tron like never seems to dip a lot. It doesn't go up a bunch, but it never really dips a lot either. Like it's kind of whatever. DYDX and so on. Pretty much, right? If you're in crypto, it's a stable coin. If you're new to crypto, you're like, it moves so much. My money is moving so much every day. But give him a few years. He'll be all right.
It'll go back.
Yeah. It'll balance itself out, son. You're new to this. And here we go for the 30-day chart for token terminal. Again, this is looking at revenue. Just giving an idea of some of these projects, how they're doing. I want to ask the crew here, are there any projects on this list that you see? If you can see this list, let me know if you can't. Anything here that you're invested in?
I got some Tron.
You got some Tron?
Yeah,
you got some Tron? You got some Ethereum? So you
Yeah.
got 2 on the list. Let's see, anything else on the list? You got any Polygon?
No, I never got no Polygon.
You ain't got no Polygon? You got any?
Tron's moving, isn't it? I feel like every time we look at this chart, Tron's in a different spot. I don't remember it being 2.
No, Tron's always been like number 2. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. People just, they got that black eye again.
No. The bar is bigger or something.
The black eye makes
different.
you not want to look at them. It makes you not even want to look at them. You're like, I don't want to. I'm not trying to look at it. No.
I see Stargate on there, and I see OpenSea on there.
Oh snap! Where's Stargate sneaking in?
Stargate is
Right here,
yeah. Right there.
1.1 million. Okay, that might be in a short amount of time. I don't know when the last time I saw them in there. So you got Stargate.
Revenue. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So Stargate's been trending up a lot these last couple of months with all the votes that they have for for their rumored airdrops. I haven't got an airdrop for Stargate yet, but they say that's coming. And OpenSea, I've been doing a lot of NFT stuff lately. Arbitrum, I've been using that. Cause I think that's it.
And Polygon got wiped out recently. Poor Polygon. I wanted to look. Let me see something else real quick here. I know they're a special situation, but like, how does the convex token even do on the daily? Is it just like constantly down? Like, I'm curious. I have no idea. 30-day, it's actually up. Interesting. Okay, I just have to check it out really quickly. One other token I want to look at real quick. Well, promise we'll get right back to what we were doing. I promise. I'm just too curious now. FXS. This is Frax shares. So the token for Frax ecosystem, which I do think is probably going to be a monumental climbing token during the next bull run. I can't believe it just said. I mean, I really do think it's going to be crazy. I think this could be like Compound or something like that. It can become like a $400 token in the bull run. People are going to be like, Frax. I didn't know Frax existed. So good. That's how they're going to treat it. And then all the narratives from all the crypto gigaheads are going to be like, yeah, Frax ecosystem is just huge. We didn't know. We weren't really paying attention. Just remember, I said that, Jay, because that's what's going to happen. All right, but yeah, interesting list. All right, I want to move it down because I also want to pull up earnings today. I thought that was an interesting tab that I usually ignore that, but I want to look into. Yeah, maybe this is what you're used to seeing on Tron. Sometimes when we move the chart, it'll move. So the bar, you might be like, oh, I'm used to seeing the 7-day. That's really what I imprinted, but the 30-day looking sexy.
No, well,
you like Tron in the 30-day.
Like,
Oof. Okay. In the 7-day, I mean, I've been making some tweets about this recently. It just snuck on the chart. It's funny. I just made some tweets about it. Mux. I think I told you. I mean, you guys see it all the time because that's the platform that I send you my little trade links from. Mm-hmm. It's typically Mux. Those are Mux charts. So yeah, Mux making its way on the list. Smurfy likes his perp dexes, and this one has good tokenomics. I actually think this has some really solid tokenomics. And when we look at the charts, man, I call it level. I should have been speaking more about Mux too, because when we look at the charts, Mux up 4.5% today. I didn't even know what it was going to be up today, but I knew it was going to be juicy because look at the charts. I said this the other day. Everything is green in the chat. I said everything is green in the chat the other day. It's a new day. Everything is green. What is Mux doing? Cannot faith this protocol. It's too much. You just gotta buy some of the token. Look at it. Where's the token available? On multiple blockchains. Ethereum, Arbitrum, or BNB. Get you some Mux. Not financial advice. I'm gonna get me some Mux. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know I knew you could use the protocol on BNB, but like, oh, the token's on BNB too. So that's what I should have bought today because I don't think it's a bad time to buy Mux. Probably at any point. Yeah, I don't know. They got me kind of bullish on Mux. I love the utility behind Level in their whole ecosystem. So that token makes you money itself. Mux is a little bit slower, but the token is not really dropping in price like that. It's not going to be dropping like that. I don't think so. I think that it's wrapped up in a way that it's kind of hard for the price to just insta drop on a token like that. Sure it can go down, but it ain't going to be pulling like dang, it went down 90% one day unless the platform is failing entirely. It's like so that's what I'm looking at there. Take that with a grain of salt. So.
Mux protocol. Wasn't it like at $7? No, it wasn't. Was it different?
I mean, this thing has just been kind of sexy recently. So up 30%, up 100% in the 118% in the 30 days. So very possible that you were seeing something like that. If it's currently $16, you're probably seeing it around. It sounds about right. We've been talking about it for a few months. So yeah, it's probably in that range.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir. And ain't nobody really talking about it like that yet, but it's probably one of the better perp dex options out there because it's a yield aggregator of a perp dex. So not only are you earning tokens for it, not only are you doing yield training with it, but you're also yield aggregating. AKA, you're getting the best prices on the market. Technically, you could maybe do a trade on Mux, earn on your trade, and then you got a better deal for it. So you can like sell it somewhere else for an arbitrage on the market, regardless of it's like yield on top of yield. If you really want to think about it, so it's a good scenario, and there's not a lot of those. I don't know a lot of yield aggregating perp dexes. There's Mux, and I don't know any other ones. So let me know when you know. Probably why it's doing so good. First movers. Probably why it's doing so good. But yeah, we call it level when level was down here. Mux is now down here. I think Mux could be up in this range fairly quickly. Once people start to be like, yo, this is actually the ish. This is dope. And it's not going to hurt any of these other protocols. They're going to benefit from it because, again, Mux is a yield aggregator. So Mux is just going to make all these other protocols earn fees and shit too. It's going to be sexy. It's a flywheel, baby. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of this list is, if you don't notice what this list is, guys, I kind of said this earlier. This entire list, almost the entire list, because I just said this about like what to look for on ZK Sync as things pop open, is not just normal dexes. Most of this list is not just normal dexes. Most of this list is yield aggregators. It's some form of a yield aggregator. If it's on the list right now, if you don't know what it is and it's not an NFT project, it's probably a yield aggregator or a perp dex or lending and borrowing. Aave. Whatchamacallit? I mean, Stargate to a degree, but more of a yield aggregator, I'd say. Venus. Whatchamacallit? GMX. We got DXDY. You get some chains in there. It's very far and few. It's not hard to guess what these things are. So just take all that and there are a few dexes in there. You got the pancake swaps and DXDY and GMX could technically be called that, but they're perp dexes. But yeah, it's not a lot of difference in what this is, folks. Just in terms of don't get tricked by things. That's all that is. That's a lesson for you. It's really not hard to find out what's working in crypto. You want to be like really making huge gains in the bull market. It's these. It's going to be these because they have to be used for everything else to work. They have to be used.
Which ones?
All of this. Some of them perform
everything
better than others.
Yeah, I mean, I use pancake swap all the time. I got to start using some of these other ones though.
These are where it's at, folks.
I see you using Mux though. Like Mux has piqued my interest a little bit.
It's sexy, man. It's sexy. Ooh, TVL increases. This is fun. Thales, Goldfinch, Gamma strategy. So that management, liquidity management, level in there, level sneaking in there. It's just a good protocol, yo. And then earnings.
Level finance.
Man, this is why you can't fade Tron. Again, I started to do earnings reports just to see like how solid projects are because earnings slightly different than revenue. Tron at the top of the list. Lido Finance, Synthetics. It's just funny that it's up there when it gets so much hate and stuff. GMX, Venus. So maybe don't fade Venus, the borrowing and lending platform of Binance. In general, the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem has been faded for way too much during this whole cycle of stuff, and I think people are going to be regretting it soon. Yeah, and then we get Mexico.
I thought it was an interesting flex that Binance US dropped the Voyager deal.
Drop the explain more. Tell me. Explain this Voyager. Drop the US. A new Voyager deal or like back in the day?
So Binance US was trying to buy out Voyager, basically, which means they would have got all their accounts for like $1 billion or something. And so I guess they would have basically let the people who had their money tied up in Voyager get their money out, basically. But after all this, regulation bullshit and all the exchanges are like trying to boss up and like make moves overseas, or a lot of them are trying to move out of the country. So at first, Binance signaled its intention to basically buy out Voyager. Then the SEC was like, "We don't really want you to do that." And then I don't think they sued him, but so I think they did go to court though to say that they could buy it. The judge said that Binance could buy it out, and then like just yesterday, Binance was like, "Never mind, we're not buying it
anymore." All right, so yeah, interesting. Binance doing what I don't know. I guess like Binance has become known to do, be in these really what I'm gonna deal like for things. Before I do that, there is a portion of. I'm gonna give you guys one more charty thing, and then we're going to go into section that I like to call the Gensler tapes. Yes, the Gensler tapes. Yes, I'm sure your interest is piqued. The Gensler tapes. Yes. All right. It's the site we love to visit, so we're not going to be here really long, but I thought this was sexy. Ethereum. Look at this.
Oh my
Look
God.
how deflationary the supply is. Look how deflationary that supply is. That's since the merge.
Holy
that's
crap.
a longer period, I guess, like 5 minutes. This is just said in 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, no, even in the 5 minute, I'm deflationary. And we keep going up, and it's just like, nah, I'm deflationary. Nah, I'm deflationary, dog. I don't know who told you otherwise. Dog, I'm deflationary.
Yeah, that's great.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So really enjoying that. There was a tweet that I saw this week, which I don't know where I put it. Oh, actually, here it is. Let me grab this real quick. Because this is a bullish tweet for Ethereum folks out there. This always gives me conviction too, to go long on those Ethereum trades, or to just stay in my Ethereum position, to be like, you know what, you're going to be perfectly fine dollar cost averaging Ethereum when it's deflationary like this, because you dollar cost average some more quarters in your bank if it was deflationary like that, but it ain't. Tweet right here. It just ain't. Why'd you take all the good quarters away? That's like a love song that somebody needs to make. Where have all the good quarters gone? Currently, that's a precious metals joke, y'all. Currently, Ethereum isn't burning is not supposed to be a T. Is burning 1.26 Mayo. I don't know what some Ethereum ETH per year. That is 1% of all ETH in existence will be burnt per year at the current rate. At one point, supply demands will be kicking. So this guy's just saying at one point, the supply and demands will kick in, and we get what's called the flippening. Normie, do you have any of that? What's the flippening? Do you know what the flippening is?
I know what it is.
Making ETH.
No, Bitfiend.
I want to say it if he doesn't know it.
It'll probably start making ETH, correct?
No.
Start making?
No? Okay, there you go. I don't know.
All right, Bitfiend, hit us with it.
That's when the fucking Ethereum becomes the #1 cryptocurrency and takes over Bitcoin, which has happened once before.
That was crazy. Yeah,
which has
now every bull run. I'm just like, when's it gonna happen? That was crazy. When they were balancing out, it was like was that when they were $2,000, like $4,000? It was somewhere in that like range.
Bitcoin was like $2,000 or $4,000, like you said. Yeah, it was around there. And ETH took over for like a week or a day or something.
Yeah, I just remember like ETH catching up, like the whole time ETH is catching. You're just like, is this happening? Because like ETH was going up and Bitcoin was coming down was the thing, and you were just like, what the hell is happening? Are you gonna be able to get Bitcoin soon? This is like so long.
I'm still
for that to happen in the current state, guys.
I don't remember that.
In the current state, your ETH starts to go up to like. You would like everybody who has Ethereum right now would start to have like $5,000, $10,000 Ethereum for that to happen right now, $20,000 Ethereum. And then you have the decision because you've made so much like, dang, do I want to swap this Ethereum, maybe one or two of them, over to a Bitcoin? It's just like, what the?
It's gonna happen.
And then if it reverses, then Bitcoin takes back off in dominance. And it's just like, dude, you just don't lose. There's no loss in the situation. From the Ethereum perspective, there's no loss. I guess Bitcoin people are maybe freaking out during that, but yeah, that's what to look forward to. Put that in there because this is a pretty bullish tweet for Ethereum. And yeah, this gives me my conviction with Ethereum. This keeps me up and going with Ethereum.
It doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to go down either. Bitcoin's still going to go up.
It doesn't.
There's more Ethereum than there are Bitcoin, so as a result, Ethereum doesn't have to be more expensive than Bitcoin in order for it to flip.
That's true too. True. All right. I wanted to move into the Gensler files. We're gonna come out of the Gensler files, and then the Infinite's gonna talk to us about wars and peace. Not actually, but who knows? Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, for those that don't know, Gary Gensler recently testified. Was it before Congress? Is it Congress, Satoshi?
Yeah,
I believe it's like they have like their little councils and
it was
whatever subcommittees. And stuff.
One of the financial services committees, I think.
Gotcha. So yeah, before Congress though, let's keep it simple, stupid, right? And I forget what that, but whatever. Before Congress, and it was interesting. It was interesting for those that did not watch it. Infinite, did you catch any of this?
No.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So You know who
was
Gary
fire.
Gensler is, right? Do you know who Gary Gensler is?
Yes, but I'm not going to be able to name his position.
Okay, so Gary Gensler is the head,
fucking master splinter,
the chair of the SEC. So the people they're going around slapping people with lawsuits. They're the people that sued Kim Kardashian. If you love Kim, maybe you don't like the SEC. Vote for me. He's like, I don't know. But yeah, they're going around handing out all the lawsuits and stuff like that recently. All the staking and stuff like that. They're all like, you know, they're opposite CFTC. They're like, oh, you know, this is a security, definitely. Why is this security? They don't have to say everything's a security, but they've gotten the reputation of going around and doing that, so everything doesn't happen. But and a lot of that is because people are speculating because they don't want to give up control over the market. To agree, I just saw like a really good talk of it. Actually, they were like, well, if they specify some of these things and they give up control due to the way that the legislation is and stuff like that, so either they have to like rewrite these laws and stuff like that, and crypto's allowed to go crazy or whatever, boom, stuff like that for an amount of time until we get these things down. Because they said something, or they can keep everything really broad and basically never allow anybody, but at the same time, they maintain this control that they can pull these strings and just randomly slap people with like fees and stuff like that because they don't actually have any laws. And so yeah, it's a really interesting scenario. But yeah, part of the reason was just because if they actually do say something, then they lose all this control. They can't make regulation because making regulation currently, because of the way the system is, means they lose control. But Gary Gensler, chair of the SEC, people in crypto don't like him because if he did make regulation, it would be better for the space already. People either don't want regulation and so get away, boo Gary, we don't want regulation. Or if you're going to be doing regulation, just do it already. So there's clear guidelines and you can stop screwing the space over because you're not really helping the space. That's the attitude crypto people have. Am I pretty right there, Satoshi?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He also taught at MIT. He also taught blockchain at MIT. This is where I first found Gary Gensler, watching MIT videos, lectures. Yes, I'm a nerd. They're going to have one of the best schools in the world's lectures online, and they're covering blockchain. I'm going to listen to them. I listened to all of them multiple times. And I got an impression of Gary that I didn't necessarily like him like that. He didn't seem like he really, I didn't think he understood blockchain like that. And he was talking about it and all this stuff. I'm like, seems like you're a few years off or whatever. But then he became SEC chair, etc. Let's move forward. Just as a preface to who Gary Gensler is, that's the man who's going to be testifying today. Let's get into the Gensler tapes.
Yeah. Team or subject matter experts have digital wallets or own digital assets?
I don't believe under our ethics rules they do.
Do you own digital assets or have a digital wallet?
I don't own any crypto assets. All of my securities holdings are actually digital because they're held by a broker dealer and they're digital there.
Have you ever owned Bitcoin or another digital asset?
No.
And so maybe here, I'm guessing most folks on your senior staff, I'm guessing you included, have bought or sold stocks, but none of them have owned, or none of them currently own crypto assets, but are in the process of making rules and regulations on crypto assets. That'd be a fair assumption.
I couldn't speak to that. I actually at MIT taught a course called Blockchain and Money. I taught multiple courses called Crypto Finance and other courses as well.
But you didn't own any crypto.
No.
You taught the course, but you weren't a user in the product.
I did not own crypto assets. They're a highly speculative asset.
No, I'm not asking for your view on it. I'm just saying that you're in the business now of making rules and regulations regarding digital assets, but you've taught a class on it. You've never personally owned a digital asset, any crypto, including Bitcoin.
The only digital assets I have is my bank account and my brokerage accounts, but no crypto.
Very good. Thank you. On July 13th.
All right. So I don't know if Gary thought that was a good response or not. Maybe. I don't know. How did you feel about the response of it?
I feel like this man's a fraud.
He doesn't look human to me. So I don't know what to expect from an answer.
I hate when people dance around the fire. You know? Like,
yeah,
he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you. Just let it happen, and you can clarify afterwards. But like, I really hate when people just dance around. Like he asked a pretty simple question. Like, just answer. You do or you don't. It's like this weird dancing, this hopping around the fire. It's like, come on, man. There's fire.
Gary.
Nobody wants to be a clip. Nobody wants to be a meme. But just answer the question. And that's kind of how I felt.
Just these hopping around the fire.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. Answer the question. No. Move on.
Yeah.
It'd probably be less of a thing if he would have just been like, no. Do you make regulation on it? At this time, we're thinking about it. But
well, it's just like that he's in charge of making regulation on it. I think more so like it's my takeaway, and you guys go ahead and look what you want on this. But his questioning came down to like, yes, do you own cryptocurrency? Have you ever owned cryptocurrency? The answer that he's again dancing around is like no. Like the simple answer is like no. He said it a bunch of different ways, but yeah, no. Why does this matter? Because if you're going to teach a course at one of the world's best schools, this is seen as one of the world's best schools. If you're going to teach a course about something at one of the world's best schools, which gives you a certain amount of clout then, because now you've taught at one of the world's best schools. You taught the brightest minds in the world, and you've taught them your opinions or whatever on this thing, this matter. But you've never actually used it. You've never actually owned it or used it. That's like teaching people, I'm going to teach you how to drive this car today. Do you own a car? Have you ever driven? No. Get in. I'm not getting in the car with you. For what? What are you going to tell me? Literally, what are you going to tell me? Just grab that stick shift. Like, how long should I hold it? I'm just going to, and they're going to like try to like visually convey to you how you should be driving and stuff. And it might be somewhat decent. Like as like a, but it's not the same as somebody who like actually knows how to handle a turn. Like, oh, you should still be able to excel a little bit around this corner. Like, or maybe you should just take your foot off the gas and turn the corner. Like, it's the type of stuff that we're getting with the person we have in charge now, with Gary Gensler being in charge of making laws around something that he has never actually done anything with. You're going to become an architect, but you've never even played with damn blocks. Like, that's like what we're dealing with. You've never even played with blocks in preschool. You're an architect out here, like making designs and stuff. Everybody has to go by your stuff. If the building falls apart, who knows? Well, I thought it would. I've just never actually touched anything. Like, I don't know, man.
I love when people that have never messed with cryptos, have never done anything on the blockchain, try to talk bad about cryptos. Even someone that would be like, yeah, I had Doge on Robinhood. That's a scam. And I'm like, bro, you don't even know how to use it. You don't know what it's for. Like, you don't understand the technology. So how can you talk shit about it? It's like, you know who you sound like? You sound like my grandma when the internet first came out. And they're like, it's dangerous.
They're just criminals using the internet.
Nothing but porn on the internet. That's the best way to compare these people, and it's kind of sad because they don't see it themselves. If you try to compare the internet to what's happening here, because they use the internet every day, and then sometimes they'll be like, I don't need the internet, and it's like, well, you got a smartphone, don't you? If you got a smartphone, then you're using the internet every single day. The technology that like grandparents were afraid of, that even my parents were like, no, like, don't put your card on the internet, no internet subscriptions, none of that, because they thought it was all a scam. And here we are. All we do is use the internet. The internet is the most powerful tool on the planet right now. What's the second most powerful tool? Cryptos. And we're all in on the ground floor. This is where we're at. This is it. Some people think it's late, but how many people own cryptos? It's like, what, less than 10% of the world's population?
Yeah, it's like such a small amount that everybody with a MetaMask could become a millionaire now, and it wouldn't really affect things in the world. Crazy to you can all become millionaires. Like, whatever. Well, you just had a MetaMask.
I remember back in like 2014, one of like the only places to go to talk cryptos was Bitcoin Talk forums. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's still around, but for the most part, that was like the go-to. And I remember reading comments from people like, they were like prophesizing, saying like this is crazy. We're sitting here like messing with this, and little do we know, we're all going to be rich, running the banks of the world in a few years' time. And that's where we're headed. It's all being like, ever since I think it was the 2018 bull market, or maybe it was like the first time Bitcoin hit $1,000. It was roughly around when Venmo was kind of new, and I was using Square, and there was a large transition where Square transactions got like ridiculously fast, and that was around the same time that they started buying Bitcoin. So
Yeah. All right. Story time.
yeah. Sorry,
No,
I went off on a little
No,
rant
no.
there, but it's the damn
all good,
future.
man.
You gotta
It's the
listen.
future. We got veterans in the room. I need like a horn right there. I'll just do it audibly. You thought things were over. You thought this was all over. The infinite thought that Gary Gensler not owning crypto but teaching about it and making laws about it. It just sounds so bad to say. I just can't even believe this. Like what profession do we allow that in?
It's really some of the worst shit I've ever seen.
What profession do you allow that
the
in?
Congress people really did a good job, like fucking taking them to task about it. So I want to see which other tapes you have before I comment.
Because like on the other side of things, it's like, oh well, yeah. Have you ever held stocks or this or that? If you're going to be making laws about stocks and stuff, well, of course. So how else would I like you'd be like, yeah, of course. What do you mean? I'm making laws about it. I'm teaching courses. Of course, I've bought a damn stock. Of course, I've traded. Like, of course.
Yeah, the answer, that would be the logical answer.
It would be, of course. But anyway, excuse me. We got more of the Gensler.
That was kind of where I was getting at.
Thank you. Chair Gensler, I have a lot of questions and a limited amount of time, so if you could keep your answers to either a yes or a no, that will allow us to get through as many as possible, sir. From your perspective, is it more difficult now for the digital asset industry to access financial products and services in the United States than it was, say, 2 years ago?
Sir, I'm not running one of those businesses. If they came into compliance, I think
Reclaiming my time. The answer, sir, is yes. Do you think you and the SEC have had a role to play in that?
I think we have a role to protect the American investor and the capital markets. And
Reclaiming my time, sir. You have played an obvious role in that. During your tenure at the SEC, how many rules has the SEC finalized that actually accommodate the existing regulatory framework and are specifically to the digital asset industry so the crypto market can come into compliance?
It's our rule books that are on the books for years, so we have not finalized any new rule specifically with regard to crypto. We've proposed some things in best execution. We've also...
Sir, reclaiming my time, the answer is 0. And how many enforcement actions has the SEC levied against digital asset companies during your tenure, sir?
I think it's probably 40 or 50.
The answer, sir, is about 55. My understanding is that the biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir. Reclaiming my time, you were. There are 5 members on the commission. Do you believe your speeches and interviews are to serve as the official position of the SEC?
I can only speak for myself when I'm speaking.
Again, sir, in a statement on the SEC website, you are quoted saying, the Kraken staking as a service enforcement action should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register. But again, you haven't provided any rules for how that can be done. I must remind you, your public statements are not regulations. It's not responsible to expect the American people to assume your statements are a substitute for rules. Do you agree with this statement regarding the digital asset industry? The SEC needs additional congressional authorities to prevent transactions, products, and platforms from falling between the regulatory cracks.
I think that it's a largely non-compliant field. And
Sir,
we could use
again,
additional
I asked you to comply with my questions, and I'm asking you if you agree with that quote. And I'm going to tell you, I'm quoting you from an August 3rd, 2021 article where you, and I believe you told Congressman Hill earlier that you need congressional authority to regulate stablecoins, and stablecoins happen to be a significant percentage of the crypto market. So the question is, when were you telling the truth? To Mr. Hill or to me? You've got to start answering these questions in a more transparent manner, sir. Does it concern you, by the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
We're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my time. Madam Chair, I would like to enter into the record this Wall Street Journal article from April 14th, 2023, detailing China's ploy to open its banking system to crypto firms in an effort to seize an opportunity created by our hostile regulatory environment, which, Mr. Chair, you're a big part of.
Without objection.
Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP. Your intention to work against SEC mission and put American investors in harm's way has been made very apparent, sir. It's been a year and a half since you've appeared before this committee. You need to answer to Congress about the issues that you've had with the SEC staff union, the work environment you've cultivated at the SEC that's led to hemorrhaging of senior staff, the intellectual inconsistency of your regulatory treatment towards Bitcoin spot ETFs, and your politicization of capital formation opportunities through your treatment of certain SPACs. And that's just to name a few. Thank you. I yield.
Yeah, he yields. Because its time was up. The man had a lot to say. He had a lot to say to the Gens man.
I mean, Gary deserves it all, bro. Like he's really getting people hurt out here. That's what he's doing.
He is though. Which is the funny thing. It's like, yeah, I think that guy's point toward the end there, and I think that the guy's also from Ohio. Whoa! But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny just because it sounded like me from like a few shows ago, like going on a rant like similar to that, where I was like, he's not helping anybody. Like, what has he done for the XRP people and stuff like that, and like how he just leveled their token off. It was a token that was doing well. Like, there's all this speculation about XRP and this and that, and they're still doing like well, all things considered, and just made it so that like they just leveled off. Like, he just killed the price of it. Killed it, like it just the price dumped. So number one, you actually lost people money because the price dumped initially, and then continued to dump while everything else went up in the bull market. Everything else, like crazy Inu tokens and whatever the heck, except for this other serious project that's only not going up because the SEC did this thing. And it was just like, what? How is that helping anybody? It's like, this literally not. And now they lost the dang lawsuit. You lost. How do you do that? And then like come back to work and like, let's go help some more people. Please don't.
Let's go help some more people not get rich.
Like, what? You're not helping anybody by not understanding the things that, like, obviously your lack of your hands off technique is not working. Is what I would think you would maybe guess, but I don't know. I guess I do my job different than Gary Gensler does his. I actually, like, in my day to day, I have to write. So I actually have to write it. Then I don't just like think about writing it. Like, I actually have to do something to formulate an opinion around it. I actually have to read things to formulate opinion around the things that I write about. It's crazy. It's crazy that my job works that way. Whatever. Need to be hired by this.
You?
I mean,
can I
I
send
feel like
them a letter of recommendation?
I'm like, look, there's very few people in crypto that like, at least for the job of like regulating crypto, that would not do a better job than Gary. You have to say, like, it's just like,
So
you can't testify
the
like that,
problem is,
and it'd be like, no, there's no way we can't get anybody better than this
okay,
guy.
so the problem is that this is completely political in every way, shape, and form, because this is back in 2018. I believe it was 2018. It might have been the 2015 bull run or 16 bull run. I think it was 2015, where one of these presidents, I guess it was Trump, so maybe it was to that. It doesn't matter because they're all puppets anyway. But they said, like, they were having this huge discussion about cryptos and digital assets, and they said that, like, we need to bring in the experts to like figure out if this is legit or not. And like there was this huge question as to whether or not Bitcoin was good or not. And they were asking the politicians for their thoughts on it, and they're like, I don't know, we need to like ask the experts. And like the problem is they don't
That's how we
fucking
got
have
Gary.
experts. They don't have
I
experts.
mean,
This guy is not fucking crypto. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. They need
because
to,
he taught
like,
at MIT, they thought he was.
it's a weird thing. Like, let's say like with I can go as far as using Decentraland as example, where a company comes in, a brand, major, huge brand, known by the whole world, comes in to Decentraland and drops the most shit wearables I've ever seen in my life. They're fucking ugly. So why are they ugly? Because they went to like their designer that doesn't know what the fuck Decentraland is and said, "Hey, make something. Like make it low poly count. It's got to have this many triangles." They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know how creative they can get. They have so much fucking money that they're already throwing an ass load of money into this whole campaign as it is. So the wearables came out looking like total ass. And it's no different than, so like the solution is to hire a creator in the fucking space in
Still,
Decentraland
they would
who
hate
is
to do that.
popular, that I can name 10 of them at least right off the top of my head, that would produce a top quality wearable for this major brand, and then it'll actually sell.
Yeah, I don't know how they missed that point, like, because it seems like such an obvious thing.
Right. So like I can
like,
see
how else do you?
I can see Decentraland or a brand making that mistake because it's Decentraland. Like, it's such a risk for them. It's a kind of an unknown territory, so I don't know where to go or whatever. But for the government to be like, well, we need
Yeah.
experts on crypto, but let's not actually go to the experts. Let's just kind of pretend we're experts, because we're already experts in money, because money is our scam. But
I just don't
crypto
get how
isn't
they.
a scam, so it can't run like your fucking US dollar scam, sir.
Like, you don't. Oh, it's just crazy.
That's the kind of shit that drives me crazy too. Like, oh my
It really
god.
is crazy to me. I just would never like run something that way. Like, I've just like just not how you.
Gary
It's
Gensler's
just
an
not how
idiot.
you're successful at things. Like, my going through life, whether it's sports or school or whatever, if I'm better at it than somebody else, chances are I actually do that thing. And then they're trying to tell me about it, and then maybe they're doing it for like their first time ever or something like that. And it's like, I'm no shit, I'm running circles
Fake
around
it
you.
till you make
You
it.
thought you were gonna be better than me? Like, I do this thing. You're not doing it like that. You're not practicing it, because you're like, I think that I'm pretty sure I've thought about it a whole bunch of times that that's how I would be better at doing that thing. It don't matter if you're not doing it, bro. Like, you're gonna lose, and that's like what we're getting out of Gary right now. It's like, yeah, well, why? I don't know. Why is the economy struggling? Maybe because we have people making these rules that really don't understand what they're even. It's like, if you're going to compete against crypto in any aspect, if you're going to like take it competitively, like, oh, we want to be battling against. Maybe you should actually understand crypto like to a better degree. How are you going to, like, Jesus? People arguing like sports teams and they never watch the other sports team. Like, no, you need to watch the other team.
People that tell me that like
you don't
crypto is
know
a
that they're
scam
capable
or
of.
it
What are you
doesn't
talking
work.
about? You don't know what they could do.
No, that's
They come out,
exactly it.
everybody's like 7 foot tall and like buff. It's like, yeah, they're actually an alien team. That's what we've been saying all season. You just didn't want to look at them. Like, well, then it's probably not going to be a fair game, is it? No, but we don't need to know that. That's like the level of unintelligence we're coming with here. Wow,
we're both
can't have
pissed
people
off
work.
about this. Like, we're both like, fuck
because I'm just, bro. I'm like fired up because it's just crazy. It's actually crazy
You
to me.
know, look, I work for a concrete service. Let's say you got to pour a concrete driveway for your house. Are you gonna call a concrete service, or are you gonna just like call your neighbor?
Yeah, Jeff from down the
Jeff
street, just do
down the
it.
street that he said
Jeff,
he'll
well,
do it.
he walked past a house the other day that was doing it, and he asked the guy if it was a tough job or not. The guy said, "No, anybody can do this." And so now Jeff's doing it. It's like, I'm sure it's gonna come out fine. I'm sure it's gonna come out fine.
I wouldn't trust.
It's gonna be super level.
I wouldn't trust Gary to pour the milk in my cereal.
Yeah,
No,
not at this point.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't trust any politician.
Because Gary doesn't know what the hell actual milk is.
He'd
He doesn't know what
fucking
actual
dip his
cereal is. He
fingers in
doesn't.
it
He
or
doesn't
some
actually
shit.
touch the cereal or milk to like know what they are. Like it's like Jesus.
Ethereal.
They'll teach you about it. They'll teach you about all the milks and cereals. Oh man. All right. Slight shift. I'm gonna bring up a few threads to roll us out, but before that, we're gonna talk a little macro. This is the infinite time to shine. This is where we're gonna ring you out, and I just want to know, like, Mr. Macro Warrior, you're a macro warrior, whether you know it or not. You are. I don't know what you've been hearing about the market lately. What's if there's anything that has made it to your ears about whether that be stocks, commodities, war, politicals. What's in your ear that you feel like is market?
Well, I mean, I have heard people talk about, not necessarily Gary Gensler, but the whole idea that they're pushing crypto out of the United States, and I think
But they're also trying to get rid of the dollar.
You know, and like I hear that in general, like most people, even if they don't own a lot of crypto or anything like that, think it's just a bad idea. They're like, you know, they need to do something, you know, and clearly watching those tapes, there is no plan. So, you know, it doesn't matter if he knows or doesn't know. There's nothing on the docket that goes, this is what I'm going to do to make sure that this works properly. There's no plan whatsoever, you know, as far as that is concerned. Outside of that, you know, I don't think I've heard very much of anything other than, you know, there's still a shoe to drop, you know, and that's about it. Wait and see.
Shoes drop. All right.
So I'll add a little bit about macro. So
Hit it.
There was some stuff that went on with the First Republic Bank. That is I think is kind of the reason why that Bitcoin kind of started going up. If you look at their stock, it's down probably, I don't know, I want to say it was down like 50 to 40% today. It's looking like they're going to fail, and the government's either going to have to bail out their depositors or not. And so we know how that's going to look. Basically, if they don't bail out the depositors, then there's several other banks that are in the same boat as First Republic. So I think that is something that's going on right now. That is what kind of confused me, because I thought the government already agreed to step in and, like, you know, have these guys back, but now they're like, I don't know. So
yeah, this says that First Republic may not survive even after two multi-billion-dollar bailouts.
So they already
are those two bailouts in reference? Yeah, maybe them, or there's reference to other banks.
I don't fuck. That's what I'm confused on. There's too much going on with it. But and then as far as Infinite was talking about Gary, I feel like Gary is pump faking, bro. I don't feel like he can do anything anymore. Like, there's been a lot of videos about him already, like, coming out basically saying that Ethereum and most cryptos aren't securities. And I think that they are just trying to be lazy and regulate by not regulating, and saying that, you know, there's already rules and shit. Saying that, you know, he's invited people to come in and to you know, to register, but he hasn't really. And like, Coinbase has been there a lot of times, and, you know, they haven't been, or they have a public stock on the stock exchange, and then the SEC is like sending them Wells notices and trying to sue them now. So all these crypto companies are trying to like leave the U.S. and I think that affects macro, because everywhere else, basically, you're hearing them just trying to adopt it and trying to make regulations and trying to get laws on the books about it, and it kind of looks bad for the U.S. as far as the crypto markets, and to me the macro markets as well, because I think it's just an echo of what's going on with like the United States, blocking Russia off of SWIFT, and then it's causing a whole cascade with the Brics nations, and it's all kind of intertwined. But I just feel like I don't feel like Gary can do anything. I think it's up to Congress, and Congress isn't trying to do anything because they don't really know what they're doing. Like they don't like. There are some of them on the Financial Services Committee that know what they're doing, but that's like probably a small percentage of Congress as a whole. I think that's my macro spiel.
And that's his macro spiel. Boom. All right. Yeah. I think the brick situation around all that was like the most interesting thing to me. As far as like, the United States pushing crypto out. Yeah, obviously I feel like that's what's happening. I feel like we've been doing it for a long time. We've only been stepping it up. I do feel like, it's not, I'm not coming at your candidate or something like that. Anybody who's a Trump person or whatever. But I do think it started with Trump. And that's not to say that it wouldn't have been under like, an Obama or whoever was in office at the time. But that's just like a timeline is when it started, when we came into office, and he said something about like, it was like the tax law around crypto and stuff like that. And it was like the first like official thing. And it was just negative. It's just like, nobody wants that much. Like, what are you, I don't know. And like with no other rules, there's no other rules. This is what you're just like, we don't know anything else, but we're going to tax you. And it was like, but you're not going to come up with any actual rules?
Nope.
Like, nah,
just
not
pay
really.
us money.
Nope. We have other rules that exist. We'll use those. I'm like, but they don't all make sense for this. They do. You got to think about it. That's pretty much, it's like what they tell you. Like you're talking to tax people, they're like, they kind of, I guess we just use this one. It's like, really?
Sure, it makes sense.
This is what it comes down to. Why can't you just go? Why can't these people have been for years? They go to work and it's like, they're still asking about that crypto regulation. Yeah, it is our job. What else are we gonna do? Crypto regulate. We're gonna do crypto regulation. Well, when are we gonna start? I don't know. We'll see how much longer we can keep this job though. And that's literally how they go to work in the morning. We got somebody else to sue because we think it might not be work out. Bits Lotto. Like, I don't know. It's getting ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
Bits Lotto, let's go.
Bits Lotto. All right, I got to bring you guys some alpha before we dip out here. So the first thing, this is kind of funny in relation to the Merlin Dex situation that recently did a rug pull. So this is just how the Merlin Dex was audited by Certec. So how Certec audits check if smart contracts are safe. You guys barely touch anybody. But it'd be hilarious. Like,
so Certec audits are bad now.
I mean, look, there's just been too many. It's like two auditors that, again, no shade anybody who's out there getting audits from them, but two auditors that still have like a lot of rug pull situations happening. It's not that they don't call it out in the smart contracts, but people just like, Certec and Paladin, I feel like, are like, look, we look at them, we go, oh, they got that in DeFi, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I've seen too many rug pulls. It don't mean nothing to me. I need to actually go look at the smart contract myself. Like, tell me from the audit what's possible. You got to do more research than that.
You can't just be like, oh,
that's not enough.
Yeah, you can't just
the audit,
be like, this person got an audit. Like, no, just because they got an audit, you got to see what's in the audit. Like, I would suggest like they need to do an audit every couple months or so, especially if they update their code at all. And especially if it's new, like, you got to be careful about that stuff. It's not like just a pass to just act like they're 100% safe.
100.
It's a nice little gif.
Yeah. It gave me a tickling. I will say. There's two other ones. I wish I could have played this. This was from the Kenyan president, and I guess like Venezuela's president as well, or not, maybe not president, some political figure. A lot of world figures this week we're talking about, or over the last week we're talking about. You know how the United States is on its last leg, and all these other countries are going to be switching to other things. Basically, is the summation of what they're saying there.
Wow.
They frame it differently, but like it's basically what they were saying. He said like something like, if you're holding USD, you should go to the nurses in a short amount of weeks. So like it's a language transition thing or whatever.
Go to the
Venezuelan president. Yeah, basically it's again translation. It's you don't want to be holding USD in the next few weeks. Is what he's basically telling people.
I'm not holding any.
So at least for his country. So at least for his country, and the Venezuelan person said the exact same thing. So probably at least for their country, where they're not going to be as reliant on it in some capacities. If their financial people are telling you, "Yo, it's not something you really need to worry about in these next few weeks," we're changing things. So like it's like either listen to them like, oh, maybe they're lying, maybe they're not. They're probably not lying to their own people and their own state media, not really caring about like, yeah, well, what if the United States sees this? They're gonna be so jealous. I really doubt that.
Right.
I really doubt that angle. Okay, so that's it for that type of thing. Here's some other alpha. It's some fun stuff here. This is to do with AI and Chat GPT specifically. I thought this was a cool tweet that I would save and share, which is just some cool prompts to do for it. What do they call them? I forgot. But like cheat sheet prompts. So how to act as a role. So act as a role, act as a marketer and do whatever for your prompt. Act as a therapist and do whatever. But these are some ways that you could tell the AI to take a certain type of angle with what it's doing and produce different type of results for you. Essentially, what they're saying there. Same thing here. Create an essay, recipe, article. Just some really cool ways that you can use this stuff. So I'm going to be listing all of these in the description of today's show, so you can go back and get these. And then we also have these in the MMG Discord server, so you can join the Discord server, and we leave these in the crypto channel all the time. So all sorts of cool stuff like that. Or yeah,
those are. Really
I know it's
cool,
AI,
man.
but
I've been
that's
lightly
great.
messing with ChatGPT a little bit lately. Now that I'm not so scared to mess with it, but and it's
a few of my friends have been telling it to act for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're on the fence about it, anybody who's listening, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should use ChatGPT. I was like Satoshi was saying, a little like, okay, I'm gonna wait a second and see what's up. Blah blah blah. I don't just give my information out and whatever. But yeah, it's just a good product. Seems fun to use. A lot of people are using it like their new level of Google. So yeah, there's that. Keeping on the AI train of things. This is just a whole thread. Again, I'm going to list these all. Are going to be listening to our Discord and beneath the video. But massive announcements in the world of AI today for Hugging Face. I don't know what that one is. Runaway, OpenAI. So that's the ChatGPT people, NVIDIA, and Yelp. So a bunch of fun stuff. Also talking about AI generated songs featuring Bad Bunny and Rihanna. Some friends were just telling me that he was like, yo, have you heard any of these AI Drake songs? They're fire. So people are like, yo, these AI things, I don't know what that means. If like it's all AI or if it's just like Drake singing it and use AI to create it. But yeah, if you're a music lover, apparently your artist with AI is something worth looking up. This might also be really interesting for like deceased artists, honestly, like Biggie, Tupac, stuff like that. Just to name a few. Really interesting. Where like, the families that have rights, Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that might be like, to see what they come up, might be getting really interesting. But yeah, this thread goes through some of these updates and stuff, and I just thought it was cool, just because AI is obviously something that's moving forward, and if you're not using it, you're gonna get left behind, same as the internet and everything else.
Yeah, there's Kick Resume where you can set up a resume with AI easily for yourself. There's Perplexity, which
there are so many apps out there that it's
amazing. It's Google plus ChatGPT's Perplexity. So you're Googling with an AI. There's Rose, which is a tool for finding and visualizing data.
Oh, not it. Where is it?
The chatbot is definitely like the very base utility for this thing.
Oh yeah, that's just
everyone is so focused on the chatbot that you're not seeing everything else that's out there.
Yep, there's Gamma, which is it does presentations for you. and then there's Agent GPT, which gives your agent any task, and it'll autonomously plan strategies, browse the web, and execute the mission for you.
That's
And
the
then
one that I'm starting to want to look into.
and then
The
there's
autonomous ones,
yeah,
the assistants, and that's where
crazy.
I'm like, this is scary, but
That's
I'm gonna
scary
try
as
it.
fuck. But yeah, it's totally worth doing. And
If
then
you don't
Yeah,
try it
auto
now,
GPT
then
stuff.
there's
you're
Blender
gonna be
GPT,
left
where
behind.
people you could literally just make 3D assets using an AI.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So there's tons of them. Look up. So that's definitely why I wanted to make sure we mentioned it. And as Satoshi and Bitcoin were saying, there's not just Chat GPT, but OpenAI is the company behind this, which is recently bought up by Microsoft. So it's GPT technology behind this. It's kind of like the AI type of technology. So GPT-3, GPT-4, etc. Then there's Open or Auto GPT, and so as they were saying, automated AI processes. I have this here. This is also something that we listed in the crypto channel in our Discord, which is thewarehouse.ai. It is a collection of different AI applications, softwares, tools, etc. that you can use. And so as they come out, this place is listing them. I believe if you find out about some that aren't on the list, you can list them here as well. And yeah, it's just like a whole bunch of them. It says 763 different AI tools at the top. So there's a nice little collection of them for you to potentially go to. And I know they don't have everything there, but it's a nice place to start. Yeah. Was one last piece of fun that I had. Go ahead, hit it.
Microsoft had an earnings report, I think, this week, and they mentioned AI a shitload of times. And I think Microsoft has been leading the market in stocks anyway. So I think that's something to pay attention to. I don't think the AI narrative is over yet. I don't think that it can be. I think it's just starting. I think that people should try to get used to something, whatever you do, as a professional, or whatever you've ever wanted to do as a professional, just like try to like LARP with ChatGPT a little bit and see where you can get.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Fucking wild.
I mean, that's a great way. That's a great way of putting it. Honestly, if you're like doing something, ask it to make it better. Like, you come up with an idea. Here's my idea. Can you turn this into a tweet? Can you turn this into a response to a tweet? Can you turn this into a blog? Can you turn this into a thread? Can you turn this into a video script? Can you, from a simple idea that you have, like there's like, and most recently I've been using it for like different Discord like stuff and development and whatnot. It's like, why not? Like, oh, here, cool, do this for me. Developers, hit me like, yeah, you need anything else? I'm like, I don't know if with the GPT out, with the GPT though, you pretty much got access to an entire like Discord building bot library thing. It's just like, yeah, are you going to take the time to learn how to put the pieces of the puzzle together to whatever you do? You build Spotify stores, you do shirt print, whatever the heck you do, make me this really cool Excel sheet that has yada yada, and it'll just do it. Like, I don't know, it's a life improvement hack, y'all. Don't be sleeping on it.
Yep, it improves quality of life. Let's just say like in a video game where you're stuck managing inventory space for a long time, so like they add an extra bag slot that like improves your quality of life. Why not improve your IRL quality of life? Nobody really thinks about that because we've been raised in this like do your own work, like no plagiarism type thing, but a lot of these things is simply recreating the wheel. Like if you're a coder and you're learning how to code, but you don't really know what to do and you need a menu. Well, menus is not a new thing. The only thing that's unique about a menu is like the graphic interface of the menu, not necessarily the code of the menu itself. You don't have to recreate the wheel.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, to your point, like, yeah, people when they're programming, they're not creating their own language every time.
Exactly.
You're using a language that already exists in the libraries that exist for that language. You're not going out there and doing every single bit of it from scratch, because that would be crazy. Not when you can use another programming language that already exists. But not to keep us for too long, because I'm sure like with our crew, we could go forever. Yep. I want to leave you guys with one little thing of alpha here. So this is alpha for the ZK Sync people. If you're over on ZK SyncNet, This is a thread by Mochi, and I do believe it is actually sponsored, like paid one, but so do what you will with that one. Again, we just recently saw a rug pull on ZK Sync, but I don't know. I'm leaving to the fact that this influencer probably has done more research, especially for a paid situation. But who's to say? Who's to say? Anyways, this is without ruining this whole thread for you. You could go through this, but there's just some different changes that they make to the 3-3 staking model, and it's too much to go into at the end of the show to like explain 3-3 and all this other crazy stuff. But if you know solidly, this is basically a solidly fork on ZK Sync. And so what are some other solidly forks that you might have seen recently if you're into crypto? There was Solid Lizard and Xscal on Arbitrum. Those are both solidly forks. So maybe you're starting to get an idea of these type of, they look like farms, they look like Dex farms. Thena, Thena, is a really popular one on Binance Smart Chain. So that's the one I know there. And then like, I don't know what was solidly like itself launched on like Phantom or something. I don't know where that's actually launched.
It's on ETH, but I don't know.
Is it on ETH? Yeah. So wherever the original one's from. But yeah, you can look those up or look up those names and you get an idea of this type of thing. It's basically your general farm situation in DeFi. Who doesn't love a good farm? So it's your typical farm situation, but with locking and bribes and whatever. And what does locking and bribes mean? It just means that like when you lock up the tokens, you get assets from farming. Maybe you lock your tokens, and so when you lock your tokens for a specified amount of time, other protocols will come and pay you money. Basically, they give you bribes for your votes, because the people that vote get to say which pools get more emissions of the platform's token that everybody's farming. And so if they bribe you, they give you free money, then maybe you'll vote for their protocol and they get more emissions from the platform. And that's how bribes work in crypto in a nutshell, for these different protocols, as you maybe will hear about them: Curve, Convex, Wombat, all these different things in crypto. So yeah. It's a thing for a whole nother topic, so we're not going to jump into it any farther than that, folks. But if you're interested, go ahead and Google or ask ChatGPT. It probably knows.
Why is GME trending?
It's been trending all day.
GME?
Yeah, why?
GameStop?
All day.
I've seen it on Smurf's Twitter.
All day. You want me to click it? Okay, that's what. It was on mine. Okay. No, I got it. It's on screen. You want it? Sure. Data GME cost to borrow doubled overnight. The last time it did this was 3/17. GameStop went up 70% the following 4 days. So they're bullish.
GameStop looking.
So they're bullish.
Are
there any members of Congress holding AMC, APE, GME, Bibi? What they're not holding any Bitcoin. Well, no, Congress members might, but Gary's not. He's got Gary's name on here. Pelosi, I'm not going to put it past her. Pelosi's holding everything. The Pelosi household has it all. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying the Pelosi household has it all. Best traders in Congress.
Pelosi sold it all.
Used to be. Oh my goodness. The Pelosi's know what they're doing. Gains Network, GME. Just mentioning, just a lot of GME hype today. Popular stocks like 23 most popular. Just look like people were in general bullish on GME due to whatever reasons. Bullish on new team members, GME meme team. Yeah, GME. Cool. All right, to wrap this up, folks. How are we feeling? Satoshi. You're like this triangle corner.
I feel like we have a lot of moving parts going around. I feel like I really do want to start playing around with AI a lot more. And
man,
I feel like we're not prepared for whatever's getting ready to happen. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm not prepared. I don't know how to get prepared, and I just feel like it's going to be some wild stuff going on.
Look, I know a guy who's like using ChatGPT or one of these GPTs to like automate like marketing businesses. Like he's like, yeah, for the clients, I just have like I've trained it because like it's like it's to have a train. He's like, I trained it around their stuff and the type of language, and now it can pretty much just spit out all of the language that they need for their content and stuff. I'm like, that's nice, especially if you're just a store selling stuff. It's like it's not gonna get really difficult over here. We pretty much know what we're going to be saying. It'd be nice if something could just spit that out. Yeah, so that's what to look forward to. These prompters, because I saw call before are going to become like the new wave of folks, people that know how to Google. If you're good at finding things on Google and YouTube, the internet in general, you're probably going to enjoy this new prompter era where you can have AI do the things for you and you just tell it what to do and get good at telling it how to adjust those things and make exactly what you want. Yeah. All right. Bitfiend, how we feeling?
How am I feeling?
Crazy over here. Yeah, how you feeling about the market and whatnot? Like after, we just ran through a bunch of stuff with the show. We talked about AI. We talked a little about Brics. Oh, that was a fun article that I left out. I left out this article that
it was like
I could show you guys the article for proof, but it basically just said that the Yuan is just like overcame the dollar. That was it. And it was by Reuters, and then somebody else like shared it. But yeah, it says the Chinese yuan surpasses US dollar as most used currency in cross-border transactions.
Is that just for like China or for like the world?
It's like that's the world most used currency for cross-border transactions. So like not to do with the United States or China, but in general with the world. Where I'm like, yeah, United States is always very insular in our thoughts. But we're like, yeah, but we're fine. It's like we're looking at like our connections with people. There's like a lot of other people that do deals between each other and stuff like that, and they just don't want to use our thing anymore. Most likely because we were pretty much just taking money from people and crashing their economies whenever we wanted to and stuff like that for a long time. Most likely because of those things, but who knows?
I got a question when we're done figuring out if every how everyone feels. It'll be quick.
Yeah. Infinite. How does it feel?
Well, I'm still in the same spot. I like a lot of the things Satoshi said, about kind of like not knowing where the world's going to go. And I feel like, with how everything's going, and if we're like looking real big, that you're not going to know. And I don't think you can prepare. And, you just got to move with the ocean. When the tide's up, be up. When the tide's down, be down. And just don't stay too stagnant. I like the idea of playing with AI. I like the idea of experimenting with things because that's just the route we're on. So unless we end up in a super nuclear war, this is the way. You move through it, and don't get because a lot of older generations hold on to certain ideas and they don't move when they should move. I mean, there's like nothing more irritating than your parents being like, you'll never make anything from that video game, and then that's not true, and then you'll never get anything from this kind of sport or this, that, and the other, and it's like it's kind of been proven kind of not true, and it kind of just keeps going. You have to move through the world, and you can't become too stagnant. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
That's his 2
cents.
2 cents. Flow, folks. Flow. Yeah, buy the dip. I feel like I've shared my opinion throughout this, so I'm not really gonna harp on it much. Yeah, I'm bullish. I'm bullish. I'm in the frame that I could like. Could I see us dipping? Could I see us dipping in the market? I feel like realistically, look, 19,000 seems like really hard to get to. 23,000 seems like a dire situation. Oh my God, we dipped beneath 25,000 and we're at 23,000. Is it going to go all the way down to 19? Probably not, because people turn too bullish. That's how I kind of feel about things right now. But that's if we allowed it to get down to that scenario. To get down to that scenario is the real trouble for me, where I'm like, I don't know what would take the market down to that scenario. We just had the last FOMC meeting. They did a rate hike. There was a rate hike. Look at the markets, folks. Look at the markets. Like Bitcoin is fine. Crypto is fine. Given a rate hike, and we're supposedly maybe going to pause rate hikes here. I don't think they're going to jump right into like reductions and stuff, but pausing, I think the market takes that extra bullish if that comes up. And we've only got so long before that starts to become the narrative of like, oh, this is probably what's coming up. I don't know. So it's hard for me not to be. I don't know if we really jumped into that blow off top range. Slash, the longer this rolls out, I could see what I was previously considering like a blow off top in the mid 30s to 40,000 range as something that continues. The longer we push out and like Bitcoin remains in this $20,000 range, because for one, it's holding $20,000, no problem. It's been months of like, yo, that's not a problem for me. I'm a slow with the fact you can say months right now. You can say it's been months of 20,000, and like what was the case a few months ago? We were at low 20,000, so it's been gradually increasing. A gradual increase. Like, what's the chance that it's just going to stop gradually increasing as everything in the world turns bullish for it? It's a hard scenario to see against, even if it does like a split drop. Even today, it dropped by a big percent. I went in on long. I went long, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. There's milk duds falling out of the sky, folks. Milk duds. Yeah, we got rent. We got rent is what happened. But yeah, bullish until I see otherwise. I don't see the market dropping very much, other than like amount that, you know, if you're feeling like really worried, that's probably the time to DCA in. Don't go bet the house, but it's probably not a bad time to DCA in if you're like, dang, markets are really down. It's really red. Like, it's probably going to work out. Then that's probably a good time to maybe acquire something. But that's me. That's my feelings on it. We'll see how it plays off. I imagine next week we're either in a similar range, nothing beneath 25,000, nothing beneath 25,000 in Bitcoin, and most likely above 30,000 is what I would imagine. But we'll see. We'll see if it's in the 25,000. I don't see it really being outside of that range. If I'm making a liquidity pair in V3, I'm setting Bitcoin in that range. That's what it's a little liquidity pair like thing for you. Maybe we should do liquidity pair. Like, where's the market? That'd be fun. But yeah, that's it from us. Trustless Degens. This is episode 28. We do this every Wednesday. We usually try to go a lot slower. We had the Gensler tapes today, and that kind of brings things out. And you know, I did a bad job hosting and keeping people corralled. You know, my pasture wild. You know what I'm saying? You just got all sorts of wolves in our pasture. Anyways, buy the dip. We'll see you guys next time. Trustless Degens. We out.
Bye.
We out. Bye.